wasn't trying to fix his life. He wasn't even trying to name what felt wrong. Most days he just moved through the hours, steady on the outside, scattered inside. People saw a man who could carry weight. What they didn't see was that he carried it 'cause he didn't trust anyone else to. He woke early because mornings were the only time the world didn't demand anything from him, yet coffee silenced the slow recognition that another day had arrived, whether he wanted it or not. He didn't think of himself as lost as dramatic. He felt more like someone walking through a familiar house in the dark. He knew where the walls were, but he hit them anyway. Something had been building though, not a moment, not an event, just a pressure like the feeling before a storm. The life he built around the cracks. He had routines, work, small conversations, the occasional night that felt good for no particular reason. He had people who cared, but he kept them at arm's length because closeness always seemed to come with a cost. The cracks weren't obvious, you only noticed them if you listened to the way he talked about himself. Not dramatic, just honest in a way most people avoid. He knew when he was running from something, and he'd been running a long time. He didn't call it loneliness, he called it space. He didn't call it fear, he called it being careful. But the truth was there in the way he held his breath when someone got too close. It didn't come from catastrophe, no blow up, no grand betrayal, no cinematic moment. The shift came from exhaustion, realizing he was tired of hearing himself think the same thoughts over and over. He started speaking more honestly, but only in small pieces. And once you start giving yourself a little truth, it's hard to go back. There were nights when he sat alone and said words out loud just to hear how they sounded, what he wanted, what he feared, what he couldn't admit to anyone else yet. The strange thing was that the more direct he became with himself, the more the world around him started to change shape. Not because it changed, because he finally looked at it without flinching. The first real mirror, a conversation, one that started casual and became something more, forced him to stop dodging the things he buried. Not trauma, not tragedy, just truths he'd avoided because he thought dealing with them would undo him. It didn't undo him. It cracked open some space inside him. Not comfortable space, but honest space. He found himself saying things he normally swallowed, and once you say something true, you can't pretend you don't know it anymore. He made small changes first, stayed present in conversation, said what he actually meant, stopped cushioning everything to make it easier for others. And people responded, not always well, not always cleanly, but differently. Some pulled closer, some pulled away. Some didn't know what to do with a man who had stopped filtering himself. He began to see that the life he'd built wasn't wrong. It was just built on compromises he never questioned. He started to revisit old memories, not digging for pain, but trying to understand the shape of his life, the moments that made him cautious, the moments that made him hard on himself, the moments that made him believe he had to handle everything alone. He wasn't trying to rewrite the past, he was trying to stop letting it ride him. This was where the depth lived, and he knew he would have to go further if he wanted the story, his story, to mean something. He reached a moment where standing still felt worse than moving, even if he didn't know where he was heading. This wasn't redemption, it wasn't transformation, it was simply choosing to stop bullshitting himself. He made a decision, a quiet one, the kind no one else notices, to live with his eyes open, to stop shrinking, to stop carrying everything alone. And once he made that decision, even in private, everything else started to shift around it. Honesty brings its own pressure. You can't hide behind old stories when you're trying to grow. He struggled with that. Some days he leaned in, some days he shut down, but he always came back to the same truth. He wanted more from his life than surviving it. He wasn't trying to become a different man, he was trying to become the man he should have been if he'd stopped running earlier. As he moved through this new version of himself, raw, unfiltered, trying, the world responded in surprising ways. Opportunities he ignored before, conversations that hit deeper. People who saw him more clearly than he saw himself. He didn't call it healing. He didn't call it growth. He just called it living. Finally,